Hey, Sad Nation, what's going on? Good afternoon to you all. Hopefully, you all had a great start to your week, not just in trading, but just in general. Remember, there's more to life than just trading, right? I know trading is fun because of the endless, limitless money that you can win, and unfortunately, the same thing in terms of how much you can lose. But anyway, look, let's get into it. Today was a very interesting day, and I don't mean in terms of price action. Price action was actually kind of crappy. It was very tight range. Trades were able to be made and whatnot. Trades can always be made, but the real interesting thing that happened today was that if a lot of you guys are using the broker Tradeovate, which is now owned by NinjaTrader, there was major user interface issues going on this morning with the lag and whatnot. And I just saw a lot of people on Twitter just posting about it and how they were just getting absolutely destroyed, with bad fills or not getting filled or lagging. The biggest thing was lag, right? I experienced that too. Unfortunately, I was up in my profit and P&L, and then I tried getting to another play, and it lagged, and I didn't see anything happen. So I actually click cancel. But what had actually happened was that it had actually sent my order. I got filled, didn't realize it, and then I eventually hit cancel, and it did the whole transaction, filled me, canceled it without even making any noises or notifications until I, saw my P and L, and I, whoa, I just lost literally 50% of my P and L. Fortunately for me, I made it all back, but unfortunately for me, that I should actually be up significantly more than what happened. And hopefully, for those of you that are using the same broker, you saw my tweet earlier saying that just be very cautious and to potentially not trade at all, if anything. Um, I believe that they owe everybody something, right? In terms of if you lost your evaluation account or you lost your money or whatever, they should do a hard set restore for everybody, right? And they just certainly have the capital to do it. It's just ridiculous. What happened? Anyway, look, let's get into the analysis for today. What you see in front of you right now is a SPY chart on the daily. Not much has changed since what I said yesterday, so we're gonna go through real quick, right? So here's the daily. We still have the rising wedge on two different looks, and I drew a rising wedge pretty much from the March 13th low all the way up to last Friday's low. The reason why I did not draw to Thursday's low, some of you may ask, okay, Sad, why we not drawing the trend line, from that March 13th low to this? You could, nothing wrong with that. We can add in there for context sake. The reason why I did not draw that way is because I wanted many more touches. The more touches, the more relevant a trend line is. And also, we can say that look, we had this original rising wedge that we drew. Up until last Wednesday, we broke out, right? A lot of people thought we broke out and they started shorting, and then they eventually got screwed over because futures gapped up overnight. So I look at this as a false breakout, and we broke back in, and now we're riding this back trend. So, just like any other pattern, right? Whether it's on daily or the 5 minute, we have false breakouts, right? So that's how I took it. So we can leave this other trend line in here just for reference, for saying, hey, in case we do break out again, we might have another one, So for me, I looked at it as a false breakout, and we broke back in, and we're holding in there. So that is the reason why I drew it this way. Again, trend lines are all subjective. At the end of the day, you utilize how it is to make it work for you. So that is how I drew it. The most interesting part about today's action is, if you can see, I apologize, got a lot of data going on, is that today was actually a couple things. One, we had an inside day, right? So this candle is contained inside of this one. That's why it's called inside day, right? So I trade the strat as part of my strategy. So I use the entire candle, right? The body plus, the wick. Traditional Japanese candle patterns, they typically use just the body, right? So this is the body, right? So they would actually say it's not an inside candle. But for me, we do because we utilize the strat here. So it is an inside day for me. So this is going to be a 2-1-2 setup going to tomorrow, right? So your long and short triggers are going to be pretty much high and low of the day. Again, you're going to want to use a smaller time frame for a better entry, right? I said the same thing today when we had that 322 on the 4 hour. I was like, look, we are 322. Use the smaller time frame for a more accurate entry and an earlier entry so that you can capitalize on it. Because reality is, you know what, we don't want to wait for this, this trigger, right? Or even this trigger, especially if we're going low, right? We want to get in a little bit earlier, and we can say maybe, a rejection off the 50%, and we see an inverted hammer, which would signify that the bears are here, and they're pushing it down. So that could be our actionable signal. But anyway, look, we have the inside bar, and we also have this hanging man, right? This is essentially a bearish candle, but we are still going to play price according to price, right? We're not going to make any assumptions. What we do know is that we have a 2-1-2 combo going into tomorrow, and that is what we're going to be looking for. If we do break the upside, look, you have pretty much an imbalance up here, and you have this gap. So that's what we're looking at, right? The 414 to the 415 area. That's where we want to break. And if we break through the gap, then we're going to go test, the liquidity up here, right? The 415 through 417 area. So that's kind of what we're seeing on the upside. And obviously on the downside, if we do break to the downside, we do have the 50% of the week and 50% for the month. And then not today's, but yesterday's 50% was somewhere above this. I think it was 411.15. So we have a little bit of work to make to go to the downside. And obviously, you have the EMA clouds here that will act as support, right? The 8 EMA sitting right around 410.9, 21 is right around this 50% mark, and 34 is right around 408. And then we have this gap to the downside as well. And of course, don't forget, we have this downward trend line. Let's go into 30 minutes and see what we see going to tomorrow, right? Today's price action was just kind of terrible, right? So we kind of have a triangle. Potentially a flag forming, right? So we can say we have a flag forming, not exactly a strong one, but we do have a channel that we're trading in. Disregard this long wick. Something happened at, 2 o'clock today. I haven't really looked at it because I stopped trading, but something happened here and we have to see what it is. But the thing to take a note is, look, as soon as it came down, it got ball right back up. So it was inorganic what happened, right? So you can see that was just a massive buy up, right? Look, even on 65, you have this huge hammer. So that just means that this is a strong area right now for the buyers, right? They're buying it up. So again, right, bought it up. So like I said, for me, let's see what futures does tonight. If it goes down, then we are going to be looking for it to find support around the 50% for today and potentially 50% from Friday's action. Let's go to the 1 day real quick. We'll go to VIX. VIX has a very interesting setup as well. It is an inside day as well. So it's, it was it was actually just a 1. It was an inside day. So this is today's action. You can see that this is low of Friday, so it's inside of it. So we do have a potential 2-1-2 to the downside tomorrow for the VIX, right? It came back up to the clouds, got rejected, and we potentially have a down movement for the VIX, which would mean that SPY would go up, right? I think it's inverse relationships. VIX goes down, SPY goes up. Just think about that. So that is something to be looking out for. And if we do go down, look forward to test Friday's low and then potentially Tuesday's low, and then find some kind of support here where there's a order blocking and imbalance. And if it doesn't, then we have this downward trend line. Again, remember, the bigger picture is that it is somewhat of a falling wedge, right? So if that's the case, it breaks up. If it goes up, then that means SPY goes down. Just something to keep in mind of. Let's come quickly look at the quad real quick, right? So Google had a massive day. Today was a massive 2-up day. So we are in this, this infamous neckline that we have here, right? So that's what we drew out a while ago. So you can say either shoulder, head, shoulder, potentially break. We have the golden cross that I pointed out to you yesterday's analytics. So potentially, if depending on futures, right? Futures goes down, then Google will have to make a lot of work to break above today's high. Let's go to Apple real quick. Apple kind of didn't do much. We do have this rising wedge pattern. We still have this gap to the downside that we talked about, yesterday. We have an inside day, right? You can see. Right here's the inside day, right? So, and it's still overextended, even more overextended today. Just something with Google. It tends to do things a little bit different than the market. This setup really looks like it's going to be 2-1-2 to the downside, especially since we're overextended, and we kind of are in between somewhere above this trend line. I know a lot of people want to short it. keep in mind that Google did have, they beat earnings, right? Here you can see they beat earnings, but still expecting a pullback sometime this week, whether it's tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. Still expecting some kind of pullback. Again, we have, this is that neckline as well, right? We have all these necklines. So that means that there's just, order blocks here, liquidity imbalances, that we are potentially, if we do go up, we can hit it and reject and come back down. So something to keep in mind of. 212 going to tomorrow. Let's check Microsoft. Microsoft has an inside day as well. Same thing, had a grown across back in the past. Actually, look, same thing with Apple. So again, we have this Hangman 212 combo as well. We are overextended, and we are also in this, supply zone, this order block zone. So potentially looking for another, if we do go up, potential rejection, come back down. And then we do have a gap here as well. So just another thing to keep in mind of. And lastly, we are going to look at Amazon. Amazon is the weakest out of the four, right? It just hasn't been doing well. We have, this trend line. You can say that we've been kind of riding, supporting. So the biggest difference is that the 50-day, the ceiling line, 200-day yellow line has not crossed, unlike Apple, Microsoft, and Google. So, right, if we do make an up tomorrow, then we potentially are going to run into this 200-day around the 106.5 area, and then we have the imbalances up here. So just something to take note of and whatnot. Not looking for Amazon to make a big power move tomorrow. We might even have a pullback. But if we do move up, got some resistance to the top side. Again, let's just wait to see how futures play out today, or tonight, I should say, and then we can formulate a better game plan heading into tomorrow. Again, we still have pretty much an inside day on, we had inside day on SPY, inside day on Google, and inside day on Apple, and then we had a 2 up on Amazon. And then Microsoft was inside day as well. So just means that price is tightening up, right? The only big economic event that's coming up in terms of the U.S. is going to be on Wednesday. I don't believe anything from the U.S. is reporting on Tuesday, but I'll check global later to see if anybody at the big markets, such as the Chinese market, the European market, anybody reporting any kind of big data that's going to come out and eventually impact the futures tonight, which will impact SPY going to tomorrow, and the Japanese market will also impact it. So anyway, again, right, just mark off your levels. You can have it here. You can pause your screen if you want. Let me put it into a smaller time frame so you guys can see the data. No, that was terrible. There we go. Maybe that's a little bit better for you all. So this is the point where you can pause your screen and mark these levels down. Again, they are very important in my opinion, and I will give you the pivots tomorrow based on what happens today. Anyway, thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Please hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and hit that like button. It helps with the algorithm, right? At the end of the day, this is all free. We're trying to help everybody out, get a little bit more educated with learning about the market and how to read price action, and eventually, hopefully, help you in your trading game. Again, this is all for educational purposes, not financial advice, so take it with a grain of salt. You, at the end of the day, are going to be ultimately responsible for clicking the button, and whatever happens, happens. Anyway, thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.